One. Hello and welcome to the Deader Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. Pleasure to see you guys again.
A pleasure and a privilege always. Welcome to the
Absolutely.
Rom-Com. Rom-Com. Romp.
Romp it up, baby. Romp it up.
We have a flashback review of Sleepless in Seattle. The
So,
93 classic directed by Nora Ephron, written by
her.
and a couple of others, Jeff Arch and David S. Ward. All right, take it away, Raka. Start it off.
All right, so packed with megastars. Obviously, if there's such a thing as rom-com queen, Meg Ryan, and budding superstar, none other than big boy, Bosom Buddies, a whole ton of other movies.
Woody himself,
Yes.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks playing the role of Sam Baldwin, and then the co-star, which, by the way, as you watch the movie, they probably haven't been on set for more than maybe 2 or 3 days.
No, definitely. And I'm pretty sure the spoilers abound. You guys have seen this movie more than once. You know.
Well, it's a classic, and I have to say, it does somehow elicit polar reviews from people. It's one of those movies I think that either you completely hate or you completely love.
Right.
Go figure. I can't put my finger on that. If you guys know better, let us know. So anyway, Sam Baldwin, the main character, his wife passes away. You know, they don't get into detail. He's left alone as a widower with an 8-year-old son, Jonah. And they are primarily set in Chicago. And apparently he's an architect or something in that field.
Yeah.
And they directly go into the fact that he's not the same. Nora Ephron has some very good writing skills. And sometimes it really shines when she puts a succinct line in there that tells all you need to know about what's going on. Where he says, maybe I need to change the scenery somewhere where I don't think of my wife, Maggie, every corner I turn. Fantastic. So all you need to know is that. And then he's thinking of Seattle. Doesn't go to any detail. He just says Seattle. You know, I mean, from Chicago, Seattle, pretty far away. He's West Coast living. And
yeah, it's like he needs the change. So he just goes to Seattle. I mean, Seattle is beautiful, but geez, I mean, Chicago, Seattle, that's a big
he really needs a change. I guess Seattle, New York, it's the same kind of deal. So you go to Seattle, maybe different vibe, different coast. He now lives in the water. And so as we move along here, the main setup takes place on a Christmas Eve night. On the other side of the coast, on the East Coast, Meg Ryan is with her fiance, and they're attending family get-togethers and parties and whatnot. They're driving 2 different cars. They're meeting the family for the first time, and she's announcing that they're engaged. You know, it's a big to-do. It's a great announcement. It's once the time of the year to say it. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas Eve, and she's in Baltimore, I believe. So we're on different coasts here.
Yeah.
So she's driving, I think I recall, to her fiance's side from Baltimore, Washington, D.C. So she's driving solo because they took 2 separate cars. Her fiance is played by none other than Bill Pullman. Great performance, too, because he plays a character who is so very flawed. Putting it mildly, he's sensitive to the world.
He's
allergic to everything that there is on the planet. And so the setup is here is she is listening to talk radio, and call-in talk radio was very big at this time. It was very big in the 80s, 90s. Still kind of today, I guess. I'm not sure if it's the same given the new media that people have, but call-in radio is a big deal. And this ties into the title and ties everything else. Um, it's almost magical, right? And this is one of Nora Ephron's major things with themes with destiny and purpose and timing. Her radio goes haywire. She's listening to some Christmas music, but it just goes away. And all of a sudden, the only station she could tune into is this talk radio, national talk radio show. And she's tuned into
Dr. Marshall Fieldstone's show.
There you go. Sam Baldwin's son, Jonah, calls. 8-year-old boy is calling the radio station to help my dad. I think my dad needs a new wife. And Dr. answers back, well, what's going on? What's the deal? Well, my mom passed away. Very well done. Very well worded.
And all this other stuff. And,
And basically they have Tom Hanks' character come on, begrudgingly so, and spill his guts out. And again, beautiful writing, where in a couple of lines you already know this guy is a sweetheart. This guy is a romantic. This guy, no one else can compare to his wife. She was the best. He's dedicated. He loves her. He can't move on from her. He's so sweet and lovable that his son thinks the world of him. That, can you go get him a wife? Not a new mom. Can you just get him a new wife, because he deserves all that. He takes care of me. He's a good guy. But it breaks everybody's heart. Apparently, it breaks all the women's hearts who's been tuning into this show throughout the country. Breaking Meg Ryan's heart. As she's driving along, she's getting a little misty. She's like, oh, now she gets a connection, just like half the women in the country listening to this show gets connects, identifies, empathy, everything to Tom Hanks' character. And from there, the story is set.
Yeah, therefore, it's called Sleepless in Seattle.
He's been dubbed Sleepless in Seattle. And then at this point, this is where the movie, it lends itself a little latitude, where Meg Ryan's character gets borderline obsessive.
She's a reporter or something, right? I think
she's a reporter. I think she does work in the news kind of industry, but
so she tries to figure out who this Sam Baldwin is. She actually hires a private detective to find him, and she actually does find him, and she goes to Seattle, and she sees him. But when she sees him, he is met by another woman who happens to be his sister, played by Rita Wilson. But Annie
mistakes it for being
that,
love. But stalker much?
Stalker much. She nearly gets run over by a semi or a car or something, in which this leads Tom Hanks' character, to turn around and they actually meet eyes, which is the first time they actually interact.
No, interact, but in the airport. See, Tom Hanks' son, Sam Baldwin's son, Jonah, in the movie, has been introduced to a new girl that his dad is dating. Just dating. Not sleeping with, not making plans with, lifelong plans with, not engaged, nothing. Just dating. And he understands the dynamics of the son. The son actually is taken by Annie. Annie wrote a letter to, which was not supposed to be posted, but the letter was sent by Meg Ryan, Annie's character, best friend, played by Rosie O'Donnell. And so the son gets a letter from Annie, and he is taken by Annie's letter as something special. It's destiny unfolding, right?
Yes.
We're in the airport, and Tom Hanks is saying goodbye to the girlfriend. And understandably, his son has mixed emotions and angst about the girlfriend, and then keeps pushing the letter by Annie. And he's trying to explain to the son, no woman is perfect. This is why we're dating. This is the dating process. And as soon as he says that, those lines about no woman is perfect, he sees Meg Ryan's character Annie come off the airplane, jaw dropping. I guess no woman's perfect except that one. And again, timing is everything. And there's this chemistry, right? There's the love at first sight chemistry. So
love to watch freaking movies over and over again. You discover things that you did not discover knowing what you know. Sometimes it gets ruined by a second, third, fourth, fifth viewing that you can predict what's going to happen, obviously. And you're like, oh, you can see how everything was foretold. And then you can see how you're like, oh, well, they never met up until the end. But they did have these meet cutes all throughout the movie in which, yes, he might not know that, well, she might not know that he's Sleepless in Seattle up until, when he actually sees him. And he doesn't know that she's Annie. But yet there is that chemistry. There is that connection. There is that.
And while we're at this connection point, I'd like to highlight a signature of Nora Ephron, which is referencing old-time romantic movies. I wouldn't even say they're comedies, romance movies. So in Harry Met Sally, they did Casablanca all the way. And here, she references An Affair to Remember, which is actually a very good movie too, 1957. And in that movie, the woman's crippled and doesn't want to, meet the boyfriend. It's been some time, and she doesn't want to reveal why she wasn't available. And she has a blanket over her legs, and the whole thing. You'll find out in the movie. So, but I bring that up because in the letter was a request that we have to meet on Valentine's Day on the top of the Empire State Building. And so it sets up perfectly. And of course, the son Jonah and his friend, girlfriend, I guess, a friend who happens to be a female at 8 years old, contrives a whole plot to meet over there, meet in the Empire State Building Valentine's Day, and also somehow purchases a ticket to get on the plane and go. And so this is the harebrained scheme.
Well, the two 8-year-olds come up with, which again,
you have to lend yourself a lot of latitude.
If the movie, you it's a movie, so you take a step back and you're like, okay, fine. Nowadays, that wouldn't happen. Back then, it was the 90s. You know what? Maybe the little girl said that her mom did work or her dad did work for the airline, so whatever. I mean, somehow, yes, he gets a flight, and he goes to the Empire State Building to meet Annie, which is, again, you could take a step back and you say, okay, fine, it's a movie. Sam, Tom Hanks' character, finds out, goes to the girl's house, Jonah's friend's house. They find out what flight. He flies from Seattle to New York to get the kid, to get Jonah. And of course, what happens? Take it away, Rocco.
So the son Jonah has been sitting there, I guess, since daytime. So this is February. So it's been some time. He's there in the afternoon, all by himself with his backpack, going around the entire penthouse platform, asking everybody, "Are you Annie? Excuse me, every woman, are you Annie? Are you Annie?" First of all, security to platform, security. Unchecked 8-year-olds roaming around for 8 hours in the code. It must be brick up there. It's got to be brick code up there.
Annie, tugging on the audience heartstrings.
So at the same time, Meg Ryan's character has convinced herself or lies to herself that she's been disillusioned. She's done something horribly wrong. She always plays a very goody two-shoe type very well. Yes. She can't digest to herself and hold it in anymore that she had this whole other fixation. And then Bill Pullman's character has resized the ring, gave her this huge ring that was his mother-in-law's.
Walter, right?
And they're having dinner, and then she's seated at the restaurant, and right across in her view is the Empire State Building. And then I guess her conscience gets the best of her, and she says, I gotta come clean and tell you something. Here's where I have another issue with the movie. Bill Pullman's character, he takes it. He had just resized his mother's ring. He's engaged. His whole family knows. And he takes it like, oh, shucks. Okay, well, you must follow your heart.
You're such a great guy. I don't deserve you. He's like, yeah. You
okay. I'm speaking metaphorically, people. Champagne in her face, a little bit of a rant, up under the table, stomp out, make a scene. I don't know, something. You wouldn't be pissed?
Okay, this is all unicorns and rainbows. Let's not forget that.
Wait, I mean, blinded by the freaking rainbow here, and then she says, "I gotta go," and here's where
but don't forget.
Timing.
I do believe isn't there when she sees the Empire? Isn't it like a big heart that goes on the Empire State Building or something for Valentine's Day or something? And it
yes, it's cheesy times 10. The big heart glows. You might as well put a blow up Care Bear passing through.
Hey man, Care Bears, my dude. Nothing wrong with Care Bears.
And possibly a Godzilla-sized Cupid rearing back the arrow and spearing her right in the heart. So she leaves in romantic fashion again. In now reversal of roles from Harry Met Sally. Now she's down the elevator, trekking it through Midtown to get to the Empire State Building. And when she gets there, I was expecting a la An Affair to Remember. She gets hit by a truck, but okay, that's just me.
Well, look.
She gets there. It's closed. I can't let you up there, ma'am. She begs and begs, and she goes up. And
I think it was all afraid to remember. My wife loves that movie. So she goes up to the top. Jonah's gone, but what happens? He left his backpack. So she grabs the backpack. She turns. Then the elevator door opens, and who comes out?
So you got Sam and his son coming out. They're conversing like normal, like, well, where did you leave the backpack? And all of a sudden, the stop, drop, I'm in love scene comes, stomping at your heart, where everybody's anticipating to happen, and played by two excellent characters and two excellent actors. They make the magic work on screen, where they both give that not the old face, the other face, and
oh, it's you. It's when you were along, and then boom.
And here's the introduction, and you must be the kid, and you must be there. You must be Annie, and we're nice to meet you.
Hi, Sam. Yada, yada.
They hold hands. He leads her by the hand to the elevator. Not that we should go. We inclusive should go, and merrily ever after. Let's hug and kiss, and everything will be great. Okay, that ends the movie, and now we'll go into full frontal assault with our criticisms, reviews, praises, and whatnot. Shall I or shall you, sir?
I mean, well, I'll take this real quick.
Okay.
First, you want your romantic comedy for that moment, for you seeing something on screen that isn't really real life. And the movie presents that well. Even though these characters have only seen each other twice within the movie up until the end, you still believe that there's something there. You still believe that Annie has this quote-unquote relationship with Sam. And Sam is such a good dude that as soon as they meet, you know that they'll fall in love. And Jonah is endearing, and everyone within their circle they're all freaking nice people. It's almost too much, but the quality of the writing and the subtle direction works above all else. Of course, you have to turn your brain off, and watch the movie. 1993, one of the, like first big freaking romantic comedies, that not the best. It's not the worst. It's good, solid, That's what I'm gonna say. Real quick. Go. Shoot.
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with a little more harder, Brillo.
I know.
I was so disappointed. Mind you, I watched this maybe decades ago. And so in rewatching it, I have to say I was wholly disappointed at the writing was great as far as subtext, but I actually wanted more where both characters either directly or indirectly find out more about each other.
Okay.
Because it's still very superficial all the way through. And then you have the kid jumping. You lose my realism here. And at the same time, you kind of lose my hook. I'm not as engaged as I was in other romantic comedies where I wasn't finding myself rooting for them to get together. Because a lot of the movie was a little predictable. Romantic comedy, right? And I know you don't have to always hit the standards of a genre that you've been typecast to, not that you've chosen to, but the most comedic scenes are actually left for the women scenes. Well, so yeah. Meg Ryan, and they have actually pulled off a lot of funny scenes together. But that's by and large. So it's a little imbalanced here. The only humor scenes is Rob Reiner and as playing the friend, and Tom Hanks talking about modern day dating in the 90s and how it has changed since he was available young man in the 70s, 80s. Right, but that was like the one scene. So it's a little unbalanced here. I want a little bit more. In most romantic comedies, to be elevated, to be memorable, to work, you need a little bit of playoff with each.
You know what?
I also didn't get the lulls in "You're Not Killing My Heart," where you really want to twist the heart a little bit to get you to ache a little bit.
You know what?
Instead of waves and big crests and roller coasters and valleys and peaks, it was a little bit trending on a more medium scale.
I think it wasn't geared. It was geared more towards it to be a modern day fairy tale more than
it's 100% a destiny piece because of the radio thing. I just think I'm disappointed because you know what? The premise was excellent. The premise was very catchy. The premise of happenstance. Happened to listen to this thing going on Christmas Eve, everything going on in my life, and this guy who was not supposed to be on the radio, the son called in, everyone in America was tuned in, and mostly the women were gripped onto his story. I just wanted a little bit more. A little more flair, a little more pizzazz, a little more creativity, a little more.
I think that Nora Ephron, as she wrote When Harry Met Sally, which was, fun fact, directed by Rob Reiner, while this movie was co-written by Nora Ephron and directed by Nora Ephron, I think that she lost a lot of the wit in this movie, as When Harry Met Sally had that wit, had that.
You were entertained throughout Harry Met Sally.
I think she. This is my humble opinion. I think that directing and writing, it's difficult to do both. At least back then. I mean, that's just me, and I think it clearly showed.
Well, here's the other thing. I hate to say, you could fall in love with actors and actresses. You can love their performances. You can work with them. But when you have the same genre, with the same cast, with the same writer, with the same director, sometimes you get typecast. And sometimes you're thinking, I'm not thinking of her as Annie. Sometimes I see her on screen and I think she's Sally. You know, I think it would have been to their benefit if they found a new female lead.
The funny thing you say that, it went through so many different actresses. Originally, it was offered to Julia Roberts. Was
really
for the first.
That would have been interesting. I don't know. I think she would have pulled this one a little different.
Turned it down. Kim Basinger was offered, and she turned it down.
Oh, so you're saying Meg Ryan was default?
He thought the premise was ridiculous. This is Kim Basinger of all people. Now, gorgeous, but not Meryl Streep. Okay. Then Michelle Pfeiffer, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Jodie Foster declined as well.
Wow. Good tidbits. I mean, because here's my thing. You're making my point for me. If the movie's supposed to be fairy tale-ish and whimsical, then you got to go whimsical all the way. Which means it's got to be a little more of a stretch than here. The whole movie's got to be a stretch. The only stretch at this point is flying across the country because the kid got on the plane and all. There could have been more. I just wanted more depth and dimension. So I think you know where I'm going here.
Yeah. So
in the finale.
You want to give your rating?
I'll give my rating. I'm a fan of Nora Ephron. I'm a fan of rom-coms. I'm a fan of Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, the whole thing, Rob Ryan, everybody. I mean, it entertains me. The genre I love.
It tickles.
Sleepless in Seattle, although a good core of where it should have gone, disappoints in my opinion. Sorry to say. So I would have to give it a popcorn bucket, somewhat stale, missing just the good amount of butter and salt that I need to enjoy the flick. So it falls a little bit below average to me. I'm a little bit disappointed. Take it away, sir.
Look, originally when I saw it and I compared it to When Harry Met Sally, I keep saying that, but it's the one that always strikes to me. I never liked this movie. In successive viewings, because I'm thinking, what is the big deal that everyone loves this movie? And they're like, oh, it's better than When Harry Met Sally.
No.
Why? Because it depends who you ask. It's geared more towards the fantasy aspect of what you perceive, not more of that dance that they have in When Harry Met Sally. That being said, it's an okay movie. I give it popcorn, little salt, middle of the road, broken thumb. Broken thumbs up.
I give it a level thumb. Trying, quibbling to get up there, but you know what? Just won't answer the bell.
Just can't get it up, huh?
It just won't get up. I'm gonna need a little extra purple. I can't. So unfortunately, like or hate as you would, that's where I stand. That's where we stand. I still would recommend on Valentine's Day, you want to watch it and there's really nothing else to watch, sure, put it on. If you've seen the other 100 other good movies, yeah, sure, put it on. If it's free and it's just playing, there's a couple great scenes. And that's about it. If you really, really buy into the whimsical fairy tale, and sometimes you need a jolt of that in some trying times, just go skip all the way to the ending to Empire State Building, and you'll get a little misty. That's probably the highlight of the whole movie.
It tickles the heartstrings.
Maybe singular tickle. Okay, so that is our rom-com review for this episode, Sleepless in Seattle. Thanks for listening. Remember, like and subscribe. Give us your feedback. And enjoy the movie. Maybe not this movie. Enjoy the movie and save the whales.
Save the whales. Take care, everybody.